Anyone else still mad? Anyone else still mad? Because I'm still mad. I'm still mad. What is up, chat? Welcome to the Pinstripe Chronicles for another edition of Aaron Boone screwed us out of a game in the playoffs. A constant edition. But welcome to everybody in the chat. Uncle Tats will be with us soon. I think he's got some technical difficulties, but I just wanted to say a big hello. But honestly, what the heck was that lineup? There's so much to go through, but let's start with the lineup. Let's start with Aaron Boone, our great manager. So the manager where there's like a feeding frenzy for, a great manager texts Jazz Chisholm the night before that he's not playing. Jazz is like, what? I'm your all-star second baseman that hit 30 home runs. Why are you not playing me? Don't know. Computer says no. That's Aaron Boone. Let me check with the computer. Sorry, Jazz. The computer says no. Give me a frickin' break. This is the playoffs. This is not May. It's just stupid. This is all just the way that Aaron Boone manages is a competitive disadvantage in October. And it continues to be that way. It's a competitive disadvantage with Aaron Boone as manager. Who's this great communicator? This great communicator where Harrison Bader didn't know that he was starting one year. That Clay Holmes didn't know that he was available or not available. Yeah, this great communicator. Well, this great communicator texted Jazz Chisholm the night before. You couldn't call him? You could speak to him in person? And that's just a tiny fragment of what happened yesterday. But it's a microcosm of this Yankee organization. I don't want to see anybody protect Aaron Boone. Not a single person, because I want somebody to come to me and tell me a time that Aaron Boone has helped us in October. When has Aaron Boone helped us in October? And I'm going back to 2018. Name me a year since 2018 that Aaron Boone has helped us in October. Uncle Tats.
How's it going? No, last night was just an absolute abomination of baseball that should be played in the Bronx. Right? You get your ace on the mound, he gives you an ace fucking effort. Who we should have known from the beginning. After you get your first two guys up. What's the number one rule when you have an ace on the mound? Right? We talked about it. I pointed it out. Get the eight. You have to put up runs in the first inning. Don't let these guys get comfortable. We get the first two runners on in the first, and we can't score. Problem one. Problem two. Your only run was scored by Anthony Volpe. So for today, Volpe is getting a pass. I'm not going to. I'm going to exclude Volpe from any of the ranting today. Seems like a technical problem. I'm not going to get on Volpe today. But one day he's getting a pass from me because he seems the only one that was trying to take a different approach and make a difference. Then Boone decides at 102 pitches, I don't need my ace anymore. Problem two. Then making the wrong bullpen. Look, was it the wrong bullpen move? Who knows?
Yeah.
If Weaver is the Weaver we saw in October last year, then and it was just they scored. They hit it was a legitimate pitch and they just got the better of them. It happens. It's the postseason. Everybody's elevating their game. Boone did not elevate anything yesterday.
No.
Right? Weaver did not shake off a bad September and be like, all right, the calendar's flipping over to October. It's time to fucking play. Right? And I agree with Jonathan. He has not been the same since that injury. Right. He is not the dream Weaver. He's a nightmare Weaver. He has been a complete and utter mess.
Yeah.
Then you get the bases loaded with nobody out against one of the, and Chapman. Let's be honest. He's been the best reliever in baseball all year. You get the bases loaded with nobody out. You have him on the ropes. and you can't elevate a ball to get a sack fly. If we would have, I said to myself, I'm like, just get one run, make me feel like there's something to hold to grasp onto for game 2. End this game with some hope. They couldn't even fucking do that. I can't. This team is just. It's hard to win. Look, they're coming into the series on an 8-game winning streak. Right? Streaks are, whether it's a cold streak or a hot streak, they end. Last night we weren't sure what we were going to get out of Fried. We were hoping for the best. We got his best. Boone decided to ice the whole game and taking him out. 100. I was able to jump into your stream last night for a couple of minutes, and what was the one comment out? A couple comments I was able to make. Right, let them rest in November. It's crunch time. This was not the time to take him out. They should have just let Fried continue to keep pace with Garrett Crochet, who is absolutely amazing last night. There's no other way to call it. We could try to dump on Boston all we want. The starting pitching did their job. Their manager trusted his ace.
That's
Alex Cora trusted his ace to go that extra mile. Boone did not trust his ace to go the extra mile. What? Because of a couple of runners? Because maybe it extended a bat here or there? Come on, it doesn't make any sense, right? We made the comment. It was in the comment section on the show the other day. We had said it. The only team that can beat this team is themselves.
Yes.
And Aaron Boone pulling his ace because he reached that 100-pitch mark is the reason why the Yankees lost last night. His decision with that lineup. Where was Ben Rice? How do you have a tight game like that and your hottest hitter doesn't touch a bat? Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Absolutely. Salute to Ollie, salute to Sunil, salute to those that are joining us in the chat. Here's the difference, right? The big difference was the game plan was going, or the script was going pretty similar for both teams, right? Both aces were balling out. Both aces were commanding that game. The big difference is Aaron Boone helped the Red Sox. That's the big difference. Aaron Boone actually gave the Red Sox a reprieve because Aaron Boone loves to outsmart himself. He loves to outsmart everybody. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. But I can't even say Aaron Boone because I'm pretty sure that lineup was not written by Aaron Boone. Because I don't know a baseball guy that would have your 900 OPS bat and Ben Rice sitting, not playing at all, and your all-star second baseman Jazz Chisholm, who hit 30 home runs, not playing until the 7th inning. So that you're not a baseball guy if you make that decision. That's not a baseball decision. That's just stupid, right? But aside from that, the big difference is Aaron Boone played right into Alex Cora's hands.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sox plan all along was to get Fried out the game. They knew they weren't going to touch Max Fried. The key was to get Max Fried out of the game. So when Aaron Boone pulled Max Fried early, you've just given the Red Sox a massive reprieve. And the Red Sox are like, great, now let's get to work. That was the plan all along. I asked this question again, and I asked everybody in the chat. Mm-hmm. What are you saving Max Fried for? What are you saving him for?
Oh.
What are you saving him for? There was a couple of people in the chat going, well, how many pitches do you want him to throw? It's not
Go
going to
batter by batter.
go batter by batter.
Like, we're not asking, to force him to throw a complete game.
No.
I mean, there comes a point where you got to be a little realistic. He's not pitching into the ninth, but Jesus Christ, take it batter by batter.
Yes.
You want to try to mimic and better the opposing manager. Why don't you try taking a page from his book?
Right.
Game 1 is pivotal. Since the 12 games with this 3-game wild card set, the team that wins the first game has won every series.
Yes, like 90%, at least that.
You want to tilt the scales in your favor? You do everything possible to get that first game.
Right.
You are lucky that of all players, Volpe is able to put one over the stands and get that home run. You were lucky. Right? Because it didn't look like a home run when it left the bat.
Right. But it was. Shout out to him.
What did I ask for anybody that was in the chat with me on Monday night with NFE? All I want is I wanted Judge to have a statement at bat in the first inning, and he laced a single. I said, he doesn't need to hit a home run. Just make solid contact, get on base, let everybody know that this is going to be a different postseason for you. That's all I asked from Judge. He did that. Right? It's, again, every opportunity that the Yankees had, they squandered it. You cannot have your 4, 5, 6 going 0 for 12.
No,
6 strikeouts.
You absolutely can't. And that's not Boone's fault.
And look, Bellinger, Stanton, you guys, you're a big reason why we're here.
Right.
But we need you to be the reason we stay in the hunt.
Fair.
I'm
not
defending. And of those two guys, I'm not asking for them to do something that they've never done before. Yesterday, Volpe did something that we don't ask him to do, and that's save the team, save the game.
Stanton has never let us down in the playoffs ever. He did last night. I thought
when he came out with the bases loaded, I was like, all right, at least we're getting a run, minimal.
Yeah.
And
he let us down last night.
He just missed that cutter. He just missed it.
Yeah, it's true. He did. But he missed it, and that's it. It's a game of margins. But, I'm not going to pile on Stanton. He's been a Greek god in the playoffs. He didn't step up yesterday. He let us down. But so did a lot of guys. But I honestly think that the biggest instigator of this whole thing was Aaron Boone because of the fact that he played into Boston's hands. Just look at the difference. Alex Cora trusted Crochet. Crochet was still peppering 100-mile-an-hour fastballs perfectly located in the zone after 118 pitches. On the Yankee side, Aaron Boone couldn't wait to get Max Fried out after 102. And that's the difference. The difference is Alex Cora realizes the gravity of occasions. He realizes the gravity of a game. He realizes what it takes to win big games. He realizes that stuff. Aaron Boone, he doesn't grasp these opportunities.
Mm-mm.
And that's why we go back to what I said earlier. When has Aaron Boone been a competitive advantage to us in October? I can't name one single October that he's helped us. Because he continues to manage like it's May. He manages every postseason like it's June. What is Ahmad Rosario doing batting fifth? Has he bat fifth at all as a Yankee? When was the last time he played second base? It doesn't make any sense. It just came out of nowhere. And I like Rosario. I had no problem with him playing. but came out of nowhere at an expensive Jazz. It just felt like you were outthinking yourself, and that's the problem. The Yankees love to outthink themselves. You go back to that series where they did the David Garcia J Happ nonsense.
They
That
outsmart
was the
themselves
classic.
every October.
That was the classic case of the Yankees outthinking themselves, outsmarting themselves, thinking that they're the smartest guys in the room, and they're going to pull a fast one on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay were laughing at it. That's not a competitive advantage. Right? What did the Yankees do in the ALCS Game 1 when they got swept by the Astros? They sent out a punt lineup because they thought that they were going to take the Astros by surprise. The Astros weren't taken by surprise. They're laughing at it. They're like, oh, thanks, guys. I'll be more than happy to take Game 1. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. And then what we do here, it's the same situation. They tried to outsmart themselves, tried to outsmart a smart organization like Boston. You're not that smart. You're built on brawn. That's what you're built on. You're built on home runs, brawn. That's what you should be using to your advantage. You got Aaron Judge, you got Big G, and you got some excellent pitchers. That's what you ride. Don't try and outsmart yourself because you don't have a manager that's that very fucking smart. And you got Mike Fishman there, who is a rotten fish, all pun intended. And I'm telling you, that lineup was a Mike Fishman lineup. And that whole idea with going to Weaver was so stupid. Again, you don't read the game, Aaron Boone. You do not read the game. You gave the Red Sox a reprieve.
Once again, they saved the Red Sox season.
You saved the Red Sox. What you do in that spot, if you really desperately need to make a change, you go with someone that has different stuff, completely different stuff to throw the Red Sox off.
Mm-hmm.
So you go with someone that has a monster splitter, like a Cruz, or a really good changeup, like a Williams. That's what you do. But when you send out a Weaver with his flat dick fastball, that's all it's going to do is you're basically giving the Red Sox a reprieve. You have to read how the game's going. You have to read how their quality of at-bats. The Red Sox quality of at-bats were garbage against Max Fried. Ride that. Jesus.
I mean, you have Fried on the mound. They were struggling to see the ball from the left-hand side. Why didn't you go to a lefty reliever? What, because of the matchup? Your gut should have told you, Bo. Look, let me keep the lefty on the mound because the lefty angle is keeping him a little off balance tonight. If he would have went with Cruz just to keep it from the left side, and there was he goes, look, they were really struggling against the lefty, so I wanted to keep them seeing the same angle. That's a gut move, right? Also, in game one, why did you not go to? I mean, I don't want to say Weaver's not a big game pitcher, but he's not having a big game season. In September, he's got a +9 ERA.
Wow.
He's got a 9.2. I think it was 9.24 ERA in September.
Jesus.
What? Because his last 3 outings, he hasn't allowed a base runner. He turned a corner. His car stalled out. I would have rather them go with Cruz. But Tim Hill.
Yes. I would rather ride with Max Fried, man.
You have two lefties on the mound you can go to keep them seeing the same angle that they were not doing well against.
That's true.
Again, it's Boone outthinking himself because the book said put Rafael, give the righty to Rafaela.
Right. Exactly.
Who, if Boone really did his research, he would have seen that actually Rafaela's been hitting righties pretty well lately.
Fact. That's a very good point.
Like,
And that's what the thing is, man. That's what the book. That's what Mike Fishman's computer doesn't take into account. It doesn't take into account Hawk. It doesn't take into account fucking balls, right? It doesn't take into account the love of the big moment, right? That's what it doesn't take into account. And there's certain guys you got to trust. And the big difference is when you have like a manager like a Joe Torre, he managed because he knew his guys. He knew his guys. He knew which guys loved the big moment. He knew which guys would get out of any situation, right? That's why we go to the 2000 World Series and he chose David Cone to pitch against Mike Piazza. Why? Because he knew that David Cone would rather die than give up a run to Mike Piazza, right? Even though every metric, every statistician in the book said that was a wrong call, he went with it because he knew his guys inside out. That's who you need as a manager. And Aaron Boone doesn't manage like that. He manages by what people above him are telling him is the right matchup. It was the wrong call. It was the wrong call to sit Jazz Chisholm. It was the wrong call to sit Ben Rice. What is Ben Rice doing not coming in the 8th inning in that when they had Wells up at bat to strike out? I mean, come on. Like, where's Ben Rice? This is the guy that's been as clutch as anybody in baseball this year. Mm-hmm. So clutch. I don't care what the stats tell me. All I know is that the consistent lineup that we were sending out all September to save the Yankees season was Grisham up leading off, Ben Rice batting second, Aaron Judge batting third, Big G batting fourth, Jazz batting fifth. That was basically it. And it was consistent, and they rode it. And guess what? They managed to pull back a division that they had no chance of winning. There was like a 99% chance of them losing the division, and they came to tie it. And if they'd not blown like 18 games this year in the stupidest ways possible, the Yankees would have won the division. But that's the difference. Aaron Boone finds ways to lose. And you can't keep managing like that. He's not a competitive advantage. He got it wrong. He made the wrong choice. He doesn't manage with gut. He has no feel for the game. And we can't keep doing this every single October. How many more Octobers are we going to say this? Because we've been saying it every single October. I said it last year. I said it in the ALCS. I said it in the COVID season. I said it in 2018. Like, how many more years are we going to keep saying this? And the Yankees just turn a blind eye to it because their puppet screwed another game. But it's okay because the puppet did exactly what they told him to do. Screw your puppet. Screw your stupid analytics. It's a sucky analytics system. Get better. Be innovative. Be smart. Stop trying to outsmart your opponent. You're not that smart. Win on talent. You got the talent. Use it. Jesus.
It's easy to, and easy but justified to just say this is all Boone's fault. But it also does come to the point where these players have to, they have to play to their capabilities as well. And that's really, it comes down to, I just keep going back to that 9th inning. I texted NFV. I'm like, I thought they were walking it off. I thought that was when bases loaded, nobody out. You have your 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up.
Yep.
You should be able to sit back and enjoy the fireworks.
Yep.
2 sack flies win you the game.
Right.
You don't even need to hit the home run.
Ties you the game, not wins it, but yeah, ties it. Yeah.
2 fly balls, you win the game.
Well, tie the game,
and they can't fucking do it. Is I mean, so the failure, it starts with the manager, but it just trickles down.
Yes, you're right.
It's come on, guys. I think the the batting order, we can nitpick that, whether it was Goldschmidt or Grisham. Both of them have had a lot of games where they were both, either one of them were a leadoff hitter. So it's not like we were putting Goldschmidt in uncharted territory. So I would have rather have Rice in the game, but Goldschmidt, he also had a couple hits yesterday, so he wasn't the problem. So I think as far as the batting order itself, having Rosario in the middle of the order, I would have switched him and Wells if you want to go lefty lefty. If you're looking to go righty lefty, I would have had Wells a little further up the order because he has been seeing the ball a lot better lately. He's been putting up some good numbers. He was starting to heat up. You bury him in the bottom of the order. I think that was I think that was also a glitch in the computer that everybody just ignored. Oh, wait a minute, this don't look right.
But the thing is, whatever Baron Boone doesn't really have an excuse.
No.
For any of these decisions that he made, right? Because you could easily cut them apart with and this is a perfect example right here. So I'm going to bring up Chris Kirshner's tweet here, right? The only thing about the Jazz versus Rosario debate that was odd to me was Boone brought Jazz into last night's game in the 8th inning as a defensive sub. The Yankees were trailing at that point. The Yankees know a power lefty in Chapman looms. If he's being brought in for defense, then it would make sense to have him start the game with a ground ball pitcher on the mound. If you're going to win the game, Rosario, the 5th batter in the order, would likely hit again, and that spot in the order did come up. If they were comfortable having Rosario against Crochet, then they would have been comfortable with him facing Chapman, who was 3 for 7 with 2 home runs, right? So there you go. Whatever way you look at it, it just doesn't make a whole heap of sense. You can't say that there's a matchup that it doesn't suit Jazz Chisholm when he's your all-star second baseman, right? And if you're willing to write it out with Rosario because you wanted his bat because he's great against lefties, then he would have been great. Then he had great numbers against Chapman. So Aaron Boone is a confused man. He is a confused manager. He outsmarts himself. He outthinks himself. Anybody with just a little grasp of baseball knowledge can cut through all his excuses and cut through his decisions easily. They just don't make sense. So that's why you just write out what you had been using successfully all September. Stop trying to outsmart the computer. Stop trying to outsmart the Red Sox and Alex Cora. That's the one thing that the Red Sox have over the Yankees is they're a smart organization with a very smart manager. Right? That's the difference. They don't have that much talent. I love Bregman and I love Crochet. But they don't have that much talent that's going to scare you. The Yankees, talent-wise, have more than enough talent to scare them. So just use your best 9. Use your best starter. Ride your best starter for as long as it possible. And by the way, Max Fried said that he would have stayed in as long as it took to win the game.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said he was surprised that Aaron Boone was coming out. He didn't want to come off the game. He didn't want to come out the game. Because Max Fried has the mentality of, I don't know if there's a tomorrow, so I'm going to go all out to try and win today. There's no reason to save him. What are you saving him for? A series that you don't know you're going to make? You fucking moron! There we go. Michael K said Boone had it pre-planned before the game to put Weaver in. That's why Aaron Boone is a freaking moron, because he doesn't read the game.
Do you know that even though you saw they had Whitlock and Chapman warming up for Cora, that was the first time that Chapman was brought in the 8th inning all season?
Was it? Wow.
Yep. That because he wanted the game.
Facts, TC. Boone doesn't know how to manage October baseball because he manages it like it May. He manages it like it's May. Pitching to Bregman was a mistake. That was crazy. He's your one guy that you really don't want to face, and you had an open base. You welcome, but the computer says no. Honestly, can we just have a manager that has a feel for the game? It can't be that hard.
Right.
God. Shout out to James in the chat. We've not seen him in a while. Good to see you. Good to
I was
see
gonna
you.
say, let's go through some of these comments because everybody's got a little time to vent. Let's give the chat the floor for a little while,
all right.
And then we'll wrap it up with preview. With our expectations for tonight. The pressure on Rodon. That poor guy. He's in for it tonight. He better be on this game. But it's we got TC. We got the lineup was fine. They just didn't execute. Jazz, Rice, McMahon would have done nothing against Crochet and Chapman.
You don't know that.
I don't know about Rice. We never got a chance. Those are the players that got you where you are. Like if he would have stuck with his traditional lineup, and we had lost by 1 run, it's we're still pissed off, but it's a little easier of a blow of a loss because at least you gave it everything you had. You used every tool that built you a postseason run. It's the umpire didn't help us at all. That's another.
Oh, come on, he didn't help the Red Sox either, man, because they had a bunch of.
No, I was going to say, but it's not like it was a one-sided affair. That umpire was terrible for both teams.
It was exactly because Crochet was nailing 101 mile an hour fastballs right in the corner of the zone, and the umpire wasn't calling it. So I'm not blaming the umpires at all. I'm actually sick of the fact the Yankees all they do is complain about umpiring. All they do is just shake their head and blah blah blah. They're always looking to start a fight with the umpire. It's boring. Take some accountability.
Yeah, I was waiting for Boone to come rushing out and get himself injected in a wild.
Exactly, over perfectly thrown strikes. I mean,
maybe he should have gotten himself thrown out. Brad Osmus would have.
I mean, I
would have pulled the right string on the bullpen. But you got
head on a call that was literally right down the middle. Volpe was shaking his head like that's not a strike. Come on, man.
With Jazz arguing in the 9th inning over that was a strike, dude.
Exactly.
Come on.
So anyway, we go look at the chat. Wouldn't surprise me if they win tonight. I agree, but this was a really bad tone setter. Mm-hmm. Plus, statistically, not just a bad tone setter. Statistically, it's like well over 90%. If you lose game 1, then you're going to lose the wild card series. Well, over 90%.
It's 100%. It's 100%.
100? Oh, fantastic! Beautiful.
That's what I was saying earlier. Of the 12 wild card game series that have been played with this 3-game set, all 12 that have won game 1 won the whole thing.
Oh, fantastic! Love it. Yeah. Good job.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's why I was pressing the issue earlier that Boone needed to management a little more sense of urgency.
Yes, and he doesn't do it.
No, he's like that. Well, I don't want to spend the whole show repeating.
No, exactly. Let's go through the chat. Jason Custodio, good shout. Pitching to Bregman was a mistake. Fact. Exactly. You had an open base, but as I said before. Computer says
I did get to check out Jason Custodio's live stream last night. I was jumping around a few channels, and he's got a great channel going on over there, great community. So if you're not subscribed to Jason, go and do so. He's got a great thing going.
Jake, good to see Jake in the chat. The manager should have let Fried pitch. That's the point. We knew we were going to get a little right. You're facing their ace. And also another way to look at it is, who would the Red Sox prefer to face? Would they prefer to face arguably the best pitcher in the American League this year, outside of Tariq Skubal? Would they prefer to face him, Or would they prefer to face a member of the bullpen that has like a fucking, what was it, 9 ERA this past month? I know who. It's obvious. You gave the Red Sox a reprieve. There's no argument to say that Aaron Boone made the right call. It was the wrong decision. Issy in the chat. Last night's game was a microcosm of the long-term Yankee mindset and management. It was only a matter of time before. Facts, man. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Every October, the Yankees manage it like they've got months ahead, weeks ahead. They're fine. Yeah. They don't manage with urgency. TC's right. They obviously they didn't need to manufacture runs when they had a chance and they blew it. FJ, the front office still believes what they're doing is working. Yes. What does Brian Cashman say every single time that the Yankees get knocked out?
Look, they don't get their head out of the ass. They're going to be working on that 10 in Cancun with the Mets.
Oh, yeah. They will. They will. Could be as soon as tonight. But that's right. The front office still believes what they're doing is working because all Brian Cashman says is our process is fantastic. We love our process. Their process only works after 162 games. Once it gets to the playoffs, they have no process. Their process sucks. Obviously, this is spot on. The Yankees did nothing wrong as a scoring position. They can't do that and forget about it.
No, the Yankees have had better luck of late, hitting against Bello, but we don't know what the elevation is going to be in the postseason.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take the regular season into account, but I don't want to dismiss that either. The offense should be a lot more comfortable at the plate tonight than they were last night.
I don't think it was the right lineup. Got to have Rice in there. Don't care if Crochet has two left arms. Spot on Egyptian. Absolutely. I don't understand that Ben Rice call.
No. Or how he never touched the bat last night. It's beyond me. Go to Cruz. Yep. Keep the lefty on the mound.
You go to Cruz. Amen, Stevie B. Crochet was excellent. Absolutely amazing. Like, honestly, the way that he pitched, the Red Sox deserved to win. No doubt about it. Donald, the lineup Boone put out was the correct lineup. Right. Well, if it was the correct lineup, the Yankees lost. So it can't be that correct. The Yankees just didn't do crap. It wasn't correct then because the Yankees lost. And your second baseman is raging, and he didn't even answer any questions in the interview. He's furious. You see him? That wasn't the right call. You just pissed off your all-star second baseman. That wasn't the right call. And you sat your star first baseman / catcher who hit 25 home runs and has a 900 OPS. That's not the right call.
Yep. Then we got Felix. Sucks to see Weaver regress like this. Loves the guy, but he's been terrible lately. Yeah, he has not been the same since that injury. Something's up. And the fact that I said it, Donald, right? I thought they brought him back really quick. Like I didn't think it was going to end well for him. And last night he was trash. Jacob Pedruzzi, Donald asked my issues that he took him unnecessarily. He said post game, no matter what, that was the move. No, it wasn't the move.
Problem.
There lies the problem. Jake, we agree with you 100%. Everybody agrees with you. The whole fucking baseball world agrees with you that it was the wrong move to pull him out. You got other fan bases scratching their head. What does that tell you? I forget which account it was, but there was a tweet that went out. Boone pulling free helped the Red Sox get back into the game. Once again, the Yankees saved the Red Sox season. That alone is a fireable offense if there ever was one.
Another good point. Jason, why wasn't Goldie pinch ran in the ninth? You've got Jason Dominguez, fast as hell, good base runner.
Just sitting there.
Sitting there. gathering
eating
dust.
sunflower seeds, having a cup of coffee.
Exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. Goldschmidt is a very good base runner,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not fast. He's a smart base runner, but he's not fast. Dominguez is fast. So that sac fly by Jazz would have scored if you had Dominguez pinch ran. You got to utilize what you have at your disposal, and Aaron Boone doesn't do it. What are you waiting for? What are you saving Dominguez for? I know his argument, well, who's going to play first base? Ben Rice, then, mofos. Ben
Exactly.
Rice
You do a double substitution. You bring in the pinch runner and then the
Right.
defensive replacement.
Exactly. Come on. There is just no argument that Aaron Boone is a good manager. He doesn't utilize what he has at his disposal. He's running desperately to bring in a faulty bullpen. And it was pre-planned. So even though the game's working out perfectly, it's going perfectly. You're up 1-0 in the playoffs, going into the 7th inning.
Your ace has that lineup off
on. You've got the 9th inning sorted because you got Bednar there. All you have to do is negotiate the 8th inning and 2 outs in the 7th with the empty bases. How hard can it be as a manager to find 5 outs when you've got your ace cooking? Any manager worth his salt would have been able to have figured that out. If you don't trust Max Fried to get through the 8th and 9th hitter in the 7th inning after only throwing 100 pitches, then what are you paying him like almost $300 million for? It's just, and you're pre-planning that Weaver's coming in as well. Oh, God. And did you guys see his excuse afterwards? Oh, well, Fried struggled in the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning, and he threw a couple pitches, and then Mofo, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he was a little off. His pitches were a little off in the zone, some stupid shit like that.
You're a fucking
His
idiot.
voice gives me a headache.
Yes, because he's a fucking idiot. He pitched great. What do you want from him? He pitched a 4-hit shutout going through 7 1/3 innings. He's like, he struggled.
Yeah, because they had said with this whole thing with Goldie, I think they said on the broadcast that if he had been the go ahead run, they would have pitched run for him. Like it just didn't make sense. But again, Goldschmidt's not even with his age, he's a very, very smart base runner. So I get not wanting to pull the trigger that quick.
Right, but once he was at third base, and you know that every run counts.
Yeah, then you put in your speed because a wild pitch, you have to guarantee that run.
You got to use every tool at your disposal.
Yeah.
And
once the bases were loaded, then you make the move.
And that's the thing. The Yankees have the best bench that they've had in years. I can't recall a better bench that we've had in 10, 15 years. This is one of the best benches. It's full of everything that you need. And Aaron Boone doesn't make use of it. Tatson Donald, if Cruz was the guy to come in, would your opinion be the same? Well, I've already pointed out Cruz was a better matchup because he's got that splitter that you can get the Red Sox to chase on. But my belief was that they pulled Fried far too soon. Go batter by batter. At least let him face the next batter. If the base runner got on, then you make a change. But I'm not rushing to go to this faulty-ass bullpen. You've got to steal as many outs as you can with your best pitcher, with the best pitcher in the American League.
It was definitely a batter-by-batter situation. And to answer your question on my behalf, if they would have gone to Cruz, like I said, I would have went to Cruz with Sam Hill just to keep the lefty in the game.
Fair.
And if the outcome was the same where we lost, I'd still be just as pissed, but it would be easier to justify the logic to it. Bringing in Weaver did not seem like a logistical move. It was a computer move.
It was a computer move.
It wasn't a gut instinct.
Right. Manage with gut instinct, please. But he doesn't do it.
No, he
This
has
is it.
got no gut.
It's the bottom of the lineup. You don't trust Max Fried, who's cooking at this point. They're throwing a 4-hit shutout to get those one at least one more of those batters out. Then what are you paying him $300 million for?
Yep.
You got to manage with some belief, man. You got to trust. And by the way, this is not an isolated incident because he did this with Garrett Cole. Remember in the ALCS 2020, what was it? 2022 ALCS took out Garrett Cole too soon. Bullpen blew it. That's what Aaron Boone does. It's weird. And he never learns. How is a manager who's been a manager in like several playoffs since 2018 and you haven't learned? It just doesn't make sense to me. Jonathan Boone has never run a good bullpen. Exactly. I don't want Boone anywhere near our bullpen. And here's another example of why Boone's a bad manager. If you don't need any more than like the 100 that we've given you, right? Another example why he's a bad manager is this game was set up, man. And he still managed to find a way to lose. And that's what bad managers do. When you find a way to lose, when your star ace pitcher is pitching a 4-hit shutout after 7 innings, and you still manage to find a way to lose that game, you are a bad manager. Exactly. But that's the reason why he's still got a job. Because the unanswerable analytics told him what to do. He's following that direction. So if the Yankees lose, then Brian Cashman can then just say afterwards, it's a crapshoot. We love our fucking process. That's what he says every single year. And you'll say it again after this. Well, of course, Jacob. Because Williams has a changeup that's nasty, can maybe throw a guy off.
Mm-hmm. And Williams was actually starting to correct himself in September.
Just so frustrating, man. They outsmarted themselves. But I've ran it for 48 minutes. We still have some time to talk about game 2 tonight to save the Yankees season. Tats, what's the key?
The key, Rodon needs to finish, needs to take over where Fried left off and just mold them down. He's got to especially you get another lefty. I think that if Rodon can keep them off balance like Fried was, I think it does bode well more for the offense to be able to put up some runs because they have, and I know that, like I said before, the regular season stats pretty much throw them out the window because you don't know what kind of pitcher they're going to be in a postseason run. But Bello has not had a strong finish to his season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to get him early and just get him rattled, I think the Yankees can really gain the offensive advantage. Rodon's just gotta he's got to keep us in the game for us to get the lead. You can't have that first or second inning implosion before you find getting his stuff right. So it's going to come down. They got to play. If they play the same game they played yesterday, but just get 1 or 2 more hits to bring in runners in scoring position, it's a different outcome. But it's hard to predict. It's the postseason. Anything can happen. But it could also. Why can't the Yankees be the first team to lose game 1 and win the series?
Exactly.
This team has the talent to do it. When as pissed off as I am, you can hear my tone. I'm still pissed off about last night. But tonight, we changed the script. Because if one thing in baseball, especially with this team we're facing, never say that the series is over.
No. Here's some reasons why we should all have faith. 1, the pitching matchup is in our favor, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Rodon's been one of the best pitchers in the American League. I think he's got the balls for the occasion. Um, he's tough as nails. I have faith that he's going to have a good outing. So the pitching matchup is in our favor. That's a big one, right?
Play Ben Rice.
2, I think the Yankees got their stupidity out of the way. And I think you'll get the better lineup today. I think you're going to get Ben Rice and Jazz in the lineup. And all the stupidity is out the way. Plus, we haven't seen anything from Big G yet, and I've yet to see a postseason where Big G doesn't do something spectacular. So I'm expecting G to show up. I'm expecting Judge to show up.
I'm glad you brought up G, because the one thing I'm like, they better be careful of Stanton tonight, because after that 9th inning strikeout, he wants to get his payback.
Exactly.
No, that stadium last night was enormously loud. The TV did drown out some of the crowd noise.
Of course they did. So yeah, as I said, that's in our favor. I do think that the offense is going to have a big game, because the offense has been carrying us all year. It's been one of the best offenses in the league. I expect them to win this game. I think they will. I think the big question is Game 3. But if the Yankees get swept, then I'm going to destroy this team. I'm going to destroy every aspect to it, because it's unacceptable. You cannot get swept at Yankee Stadium against an inferior opponent. But I will say this. They are inferior in terms of talent, but they are superior
in leadership.
In leadership. Exactly. They are a smart team. They are. If you guys notice something, that's something I mentioned in yesterday's show. They pay attention to details. They are a detail-oriented team. I think they obviously rely heavily on their scouting, and they are always playing chess when the other team is playing checkers, right? So while Aaron Boone was playing checkers, he was playing chess. He was waiting for Aaron Boone to stick or twist. He was afraid, and he was waiting for Aaron Boone to make a decision and take out Max Fried. As soon as he took out Max Fried, the Red Sox went all in, right? That was part of it. But another aspect of the attention to detail that Alex Cora does is check the trail runner. He's always getting that trail runner to second base. They're always taking that extra base. The Red Sox spent all yesterday taking that extra base, because obviously the scouts are saying, look, Judge's arm's still great, but he is struggling with an injury. He probably isn't exactly the same Aaron Judge in right field as before. So test that arm. And I think that was the plan. Regardless of who's playing in the outfield. Test that arm, get second. They kept doing it, man. Because they scout heavily, and they pay attention to detail. If you guys have watched this past season, right, this whole season, the Yankees do not pay attention to the trail runner. They are always allowing that trail runner to take that extra base, right? And over 162 games, it doesn't really matter, right? So that's why Aaron Boone never really pays attention to it, because over 162 games, you know that the big brawn of the Yankees are probably going to overcome any minor issues. But in the playoffs, when every run matters, when every base runner matters, where every extra base matters, the Red Sox have that superior advantage because Aaron Boone doesn't pay attention to it. And the Red Sox were paying attention to it. So every time that they took that extra base, it helped them. Because what happened? That single allowed 2 runs to score as opposed to just 1. They took the lead, right? Because they're always taking that extra base. They are a smart organization. Yankees never pay attention to the trail runner. They throw to the wrong base. Sometimes they get a little lackadaisical because you know that Grisham is incredibly chilled out there. No disrespect to Grisham, but he is quite chilled, right? So sometimes you can just be that little bit smarter, a little bit sharper. That's what they do. They took advantage of it. They got those extra bases. It worked in their favor because they are a smart club that pay attention to the opposition's weaknesses. So my question to you guys is, again, what advantage does Boone offer? What advantage does Boone offer? Does he scout the opposition? Is he testing any arms in the outfield? Does he make use of his bench? Does he make use of his bullpen correctly? Does he know what to do with his starters? Does he know what lineup to send out? That's my question to you guys. So far, there's not been one comment. With all those questions I've asked you about Aaron Boone, there has not been one comment that has disagreed, that has given me a real reason that Aaron Boone is a competitive advantage. And that says it all. That says it all. There we go, 13 bar. Nothing at all. He offers no advantage. He watches the games, he doesn't manage. Exactly. He's just basically what we are, just sitting watching. Blowing bubbles, eating seeds. That's all he does.
Izzy, appreciate you for
What's
another
up,
membership month of membership. Win in spite of John Wilkes Bone. That is awesome. And let's go Yanks. So this is how this is the comment we are going to end it on a positive with a little good with a good pun. You can never go wrong with that. Do thank everybody that did tune in with the ranting and ending with a little bit of optimism for tonight. Donald, are you doing the post game tonight?
I'll be doing a post game.
So, yep, make sure you do tune in. I thought I heard you last night say it. I just wanted to make sure. But no, make sure you tune in tonight for Donald's post game show, and hopefully it better be on a fucking high note.
It better be a happy one, man.
It better be on a high note.
I've been yelling for 2 straight days.
Otherwise, we will be back on Friday morning, 10 a.m. Rob had to work today, but he is off on Friday. So we will finish the week with the three amigos here. So with that, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button if you want. Totally your choice. Join a membership. Join the channel, join the community, and make sure you share this out with your friends, your family, the strangers on the corner. Since Pinstripe Chronicles, I'm Uncle Taz here with Donald. Hope you all enjoy the game tonight and enjoy the rest of your day. And with that, wear those pinstripes of pride and play hard.
Go Yankees. Come on.